Anthony, Fox News.
Who kidnaps a little boy and a baby and murders them? Monsters, that's who.
Benjamin Netanyahu, the day after Hamas released their bodies, among 4 dead hostages handed over. But the remains of the boy's mother, Shiri Bibas, was not in one of the coffins Hamas handed over, as had been promised. So Netanyahu said in Hebrew,
"We will act resolutely to return Shiri home together with all our hostages, both the living and the dead. And we will ensure that Hamas pays the full price for this cruel and evil violation of the agreement."
As the U.S. pushes to end the war in Ukraine, conflict with our allies who weren't happy when President Trump called Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky a dictator, blaming him for Russia's invasion. Monday marks 3 years.
Western officials say the U.S. is also fighting over the statement with other G7 partners that would mark the anniversary of the invasion, with the U.S. pushing to include some language that reflects losses on the Russian side. Some reports also indicated that there was U.S. opposition to calling Russia the aggressor.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. After votes all night in the Senate, Republicans approved a $340 billion budget blueprint to boost funding for the military, energy production, and the border. GOP Senator Rand Paul joined Democrats voting no, wanting to spend less.
If we were fiscally conservative, why wouldn't we take the savings from Elon Musk and Doge and move it over here and help with the border?
The House is working on its own budget bill, even bigger. They're celebrating in Canada a win over the U.S. in hockey's 4 nations face-off featuring NHL stars.
It's not an Olympic gold medal or anything like that, but it means the world to our group. As you can see, everybody battled so hard all week.
Connor McDavid on ESPN. He scored the game winner in overtime to beat the Americans 3-2. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who President Trump calls governor, wanting Canada to be our 51st state, posted on X, "You can't take our country, you can't take our game." America's listening to Fox News.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Kash Patel will be sworn in as FBI director the day after Senate Republicans confirmed him, though 2 GOP senators, Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins, joined the Democrats voting no. The final tally was 51-49.
Kash Patel was confirmed as the next director of the FBI. Republican Senate Majority Leader John Thune said on the Senate floor ahead of the vote, Patel will root out politics in the agency.
I'm encouraged that Mr. Patel has the support of the National Police Association, the National Sheriff's Association, and multiple state attorneys general, all of whom will be his partners in law enforcement.
Democrats, like California Senator Adam Schiff, warned this confirmation will backfire.
Kash Patel is Donald Trump's hand-picked enabler and henchman. The guy who would say yes when everyone else would say no.
Separately, a Senate committee voted to advance Linda McMahon for Education Secretary to a full Senate vote. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
A Republican is going to leave the Senate when his term is up. Mitch McConnell announced he will not run for re-election in Kentucky next year.
I assure our colleagues that I will depart with great hope for the endurance of the Senate.
McConnell has been the Senate minority and majority leader. Now, the current Senate minority leader is under scrutiny. The U.S. Attorney in Washington, D.C. has opened an investigation into Chuck Schumer and Congressman Robert Garcia.
The investigation of the Democrats stems from public comments they made. Garcia for saying in an interview about Elon Musk that the American public wants us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. Schumer for complaining about decisions by Justices Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, saying that they will pay the price. Schumer says he meant a political price and was referring to Republicans. Garcia, in an post, says the investigation won't silence him. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed up for the NASDAQ, but down for the Dow the day after a big Dow sell-off. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Man accused of fleeing the scene of a deadly accident in Urbana remains in custody after being denied pretrial release. Julio Bold, a Mexican citizen facing charges. 2 people died when Bold, who was allegedly drunk, slammed into the back of another car January 19th at University and Kohler Avenue. Urbana's police chief says his department taking data-driven approach to policing. It means collecting crime stats from around the Urbana area and reallocating resources accordingly. The higher the crime in a particular area, the more police presence. The chief adds that the department working more closely with community leaders and organizations to keep the city safer. Governor Pritzker is supporting a ban on cell phones in the classroom in the state. Illinois now joining several other states that have already implemented a no-screen policy in schools. That policy has gone into effect in some central Illinois schools. Officials at those schools are already reporting increased student engagement. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, thank you, Jim, and happy Friday. This is the end of the thing for at least a little while. We'll have weather we know in March, but what the heck, Zoe? This is what I'm talking about. We gutted it out. We made it. Good playing.
Yep. I think we're in double digits, Greg.
Well, I mean, it's like 6 now, and it's cold, right?
I think it's 10.
I have 6.
Yeah, but the worst is winding out as we speak.
Yes,
winding
sir.
down as we speak.
Our weather with meteorologist Greg Solier, brought to you by the Urbana Park District.
And they remind you the Health and Wellness Center now has 1,000 members, and congratulations to the Urbana Park District on coming up with such a great facility. If you'd like to just take it in for a day, it's only $5 or be a member. Find out all the hours 7 days a week. Health and Wellness Center, urbanaparks.org.
All right, sir, you got cold this morning, but man, we like what's going on from there for a while, huh?
You betcha, yeah. And we're into the single digits. 10 downtown Champaign right now. There's still sub-zero cold. St. Louis, of all places, and into parts of southern Illinois, down through Kentucky, still lingering snow-covered, snow-packed there. And as a result, flood warnings in effect over parts of the lower Wabash in Ohio from recent rains, snow melt, and all that. That'll come to a loggerhead of ice jamming and beyond. And some of the worst cold this morning over the heavier snow-covered areas of western Iowa, down at 10 to 15 below zero on Northwoods areas of Wisconsin, too. So that's improved from the 30 below zero cold we saw in Nebraska a couple of mornings ago. Yeah, onwards and upwards, a quiet weather picture. Not long last week. You get about a 7 to 10 day window out of this pattern shift around here before things get more active. And there are certainly colder days in sight lurking just beyond the first couple new ones of the month of March, which should initially come in like a lamb. Up today, a quiet day's worth of weather. To 29 we go with a west-southwesterly wind. They'll stay light, so not so cold this afternoon. Down tonight to 11. Remember that higher sun angle does wonders at this point in mid-February. We'll see a high tomorrow of 34 with some melting and thawing going on. A partly sunny sky and even better at 43 on Sunday. Longer lines at the car wash, I'm sure. End of the weekend, early next week as well. We're dry Monday and Tuesday. Southwest to west breezes will be gusty. 53 on Monday. A Tuesday high 54. 52 on Wednesday. That'll be a rain system, a light one that'll come through the area. Then we'll cool slightly into the lower 40s for next Thursday and Friday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Ladies and gentlemen, everybody knows him as Sam from the I Hotel. Sam, are you there?
Yes, good morning, Stevie. How are you?
He's like Cher.
Or Madonna.
Or Madonna.
One name.
It's just Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And with Sam is his son, Captain Nathan Santanum. Captain
Hello.
Nathan Santanum.
Hello, Stevie, how are you?
I'm good. Hit the band. I hired this band today. Live from West Point, New York, duty, honor, country, those three hallowed words reverently dictate what you ought to be, what you can be, what you will be. General Douglas MacArthur, May 12, 1962. West Point is an unbelievable place where young people learn duty, honor, and country. Well, good morning to both of you. Sam, you are there because essentially you're going to be telling Brad Underwood how to beat Duke tomorrow in Madison Square Garden. Is that right?
Yeah, but Brad is a leader of his own, so he knows how to do and how to get it done.
Yeah, but he looks behind the bench a lot, and I forgot he was looking at you. Yeah. What do I do, Sam?
Give him a little hand
What
signal.
do I do, Sam? Captain Nathan, what about your dad visiting you out at West Point?
It's been the first time in over 10 years. He came for my graduation in 2014, and
we're having a great time. Took him out to dinner last night, walked him around the West Point Athletics Hall of Fame yesterday as well. So he's enjoying it for sure.
You wrestled at the high school of St. Thomas More, then went to Army to wrestle for a while, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I wrestled at the high school of St. Thomas More. They got the state tournament going on this weekend in Champaign.
Yeah. So are you retiring from the Army? Is that what I understand?
I'm not, no. So I 11 years of service in. I'm just transitioning over into the reserve, the U.S. Army Reserves, and so I'll continue my service that way, and I'll be still attached to the West Point admissions team here in a reserve role where I'll still be helping recruit and mentor young men and women who are trying to get into the academy. But for my full-time job, I'm going to be joining the civilian force in the private sector or higher education, still figuring that out, but rolling with the punches everywhere.
Wait a minute. You're not hired yet? Are you kidding me? May I be your agent, or your dad's your agent? I mean, you are as a hireable a human. I mean, duty, honor, country. Come on, man. You got it all.
I know, right?
Plus, you know admissions, so you want to enter the university world?
Yeah, so that's one option. So I currently work as the athletic admissions officer, congressional liaison for West Point. So interested in working in higher education admissions or collegiate athletics, this is a good launch pad for that.
Sam, your son is highly accomplished. This is a big-time guy. He's going to get hired by 10 people. They're all going to want him, 100 people. What?
Yeah, that's the hope. That's the goal, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Sam, how proud are you of your son? I know your daughter's wonderful with a family in Chicago, but man.
I am very proud, and I always say that I could have done anything because of the support of people like you and the community and the university and all the Champaign, Urbana, and everybody's been around. It wasn't just me. Everybody helped me to where he is today. So.
But Captain, do you know the level of celebrity Sam is in our town? Do you have any idea?
Oh, of course.
I mean, it's like...
Of course I know. He's the mayor. He's not really the mayor, obviously. But he called me mayor of Champaign.
It's just that very few humans I've known that you don't have to say anything but his first name. It's just. But you know why? I'll tell you exactly why, and you'll appreciate this, Captain. Sam came here willing to do anything. Now he runs it, and he's willing to do anything. And his work ethic is unparalleled. People should look at Sam as an example of how you become successful. You work really, really hard, and you keep going, and you get knocked down, and you get back up. That's Sam. That's your dad, Captain.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree completely, 100%, and we're very proud of him. And I'd actually like to share a very pertinent story if we have time.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, please.
Dad. So this relates to this weekend being the IHSA Wrestling State Tournament. So as you know, I wrestled in that tournament about 15 years ago, and I put a lot of stock into it. And my senior year, my goals fell short, even though I knew I was going to wrestle at Army West Point. Wanted to win a state title, and it didn't happen for me. Came to West Point that summer, still carrying that chip on my shoulder. And my first letter I got during Beast Basic Training at West Point, I opened it up, and it was actually a speech by Theodore Roosevelt, the Man the Arena speech. And without saying the entire speech, we'll say the last part where it is, and if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his fate is not with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. And that really stuck with me throughout my time at West Point and my time in the military, and just being the guy out there. At least you're doing it. At least you're trying. At least you're going for it. That's so much more than anybody else could do in their life. And my dad resonates with that. I resonate with that. And, to my dad's dismay, I actually have that tattooed on my thigh to this day, just because it's something that really sticks with me. So I say that to say, yes, I have a lot of respect for my dad. And it also, for anybody who's listening to this, any Illinois high school wrestlers that are listening to this right now, go out there, leave it out on the mat, and no matter what happens, at least you walked out there and you toed the line. And us in the Champaign, Illinois community, we're proud of you, regardless of what happens this weekend.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man, that's real.
Love it.
I'm telling you, but think about that, Diane. How hireable is Captain Sam?
I'm telling you.
Captain
Can
Nathan.
we make some room? You make room for the Eagles or the Stars.
You have to hire the guy. I mean, I know you're applying everywhere, but if anybody they're going to know from West Point. When you say West Point, that carries some weight, doesn't it, Captain?
I hope so, right?
It does.
Yeah,
it does. It means you have integrity. It means you have honesty, and you had a will to succeed, and that desire and drive. And we are suffering right now, the society of people that think everybody owes them something, as opposed to go and earn it. And you've earned it all the way. And I'll tell you one daggone thing. If I had anything to do with anything at admissions at the University of Illinois, I would call you after I hung up. That's what I would do. I mean, maybe you don't want to come to the state of Illinois, but whatever, you're going to have choices, and that's exciting. So Sam, what are you and your son doing today?
We are right now. We are at West Point. We're going to walk around the West Point today, and then he has some work to do. So I got to wait around for him while he's working, and then I will be doing other stuff. And then tomorrow morning we're going to take it easy, and tomorrow evening, and even though he's in New York, he's big time Illinois guy, so he'll be going to the game to watch Illinois Dukes.
Well,
right, so
it'll be fun. And Captain, you're going too, right?
I am, absolutely. Myself, my fiance, we're going with my dad, and we're super excited. And obviously, a big Army fan, but when I'm not cheering for the black and gold, I have my orange and blue sweater on in the living room while I'm cheering on Illinois.
Well, appreciate that. Well, you guys have a great time. This is great talking to you, Sam. Thanks for thinking of us. Captain Nathan Santanum. We're excited to know what's next for you in addition to the Army Reserve. But thank you both for being on. I'm thrilled to talk to you live from West Point. I really love West Point. It's awesome.
Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, Diane. Have a great day.
You too. Great talking to the Santanums. You don't know Sam except for Sam.
Yes.
Well, it's Sam Santanum, his son, Captain Nathan Santanum in the U.S. Army. Santanum.
Known for his work at the iHotel and Conference Center. He gets it all done.
Just unbelievable.
I mean, his action items and punch list is long, but, a lot of this stuff is in his head, and he just walks around and takes care of business.
Does, and he also does everything for everybody. I mean, I'm talking about a guy that parked cars. That's what he did at the iHotel.
Mm-hmm.
He's worked in the kitchen. He's done it all. Now
he's done it all.
He's the man in charge there and does a great job. And he's Mr. Hospitality. Now, I'm not saying he works 40 hours a week. Can you work 120 hours a week? Because he works. He's always there.
Speaking of hospitality, we are hosting the IHSA Wrestling, and that came up a few times since Nathan was a wrestler back in the day. So keep on your smiley face and welcome all the wrestlers as they continue into the weekend at the State Farm Center.
Anybody have more than Unity? I think they advanced 7.
Right.
Advanced. That means they won.
I was just looking over. There were a few defeats yesterday.
I thought they all advanced. Anyway, they advanced to the state tournament.
Right.
Okay, very good.
Sure.
Well, it's pretty tough, and I know there probably some school probably has more than 7, but I don't know how many wrestlers are there in a team. 10?
Right.
I don't know. All right, we will talk a little Illinois Duke. The game is tomorrow night at 7. I know what you're thinking. If you're an Illini fan, how are we possibly gonna stay in there with a really, really good team with a guy named Cooper Flagg, projected to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft, and he just turned 18. Wow. But he's a special player, and we got to figure out that one. But not only that, Duke's the third-ranked team, and after Alabama's drubbing by Missouri, I would think Duke could move up to number 2. Anyway, they're very, very good, and we got our hands full, as everybody knows. So, no
UCLA
shock.
took care of Illinois women yesterday, breaking their 8-game winning streak. 70-55 was the final.
Let me check, Greg.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign and vicinity. That much needed and welcome and advertised shift in weather to a milder go that gets underway for the day today. More so felt over the back end of the weekend and a good part of next week. Not long lasting, so enjoy it while you may. We'll top out this afternoon up at around 29. A very cold start, not so cold afternoon. Sunshine, light west southwesterly winds will certainly help. Fair cold tonight down around 11. Tomorrow more seasonal in the afternoon. Partly sunny and 34 and an increasing southwest wind will level off into the 20s tomorrow night. Sunday, partly sunny, breezy, milder up to 43, 53, and a breezy, milder still Monday, 54 on Tuesday. Weather system will bring some rain across the area for late Tuesday night into Wednesday, gone for next Thursday and Friday. Daytime readings still north of 50 on Wednesday. Will cool to the lower 40s for highs next Thursday and Friday. Overnight readings as well will fall back to near freezing. We'll keep you posted right here for Stevie J Broadcasting. I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Set your financial goals. One kid plans to go Big Ten, the other Ivy. Your bucket list includes seaside sunrises and sunsets on the slopes, or perhaps a second home away from it all. Busey Bank can help develop the right investment strategy to take charge of the years ahead. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Facebook's parent Meta just approved a fatter bonus plan for its executives. Business Insider says top leaders could earn an extra 200% of their base pay. The plan comes in the same month Meta plans to reduce its workforce by about 4,000 employees. Meta says the plan is designed to motivate its executive officers to focus on company priorities and reward them for company results and achievements. The enhanced bonus change would not apply to CEO Mark Zuckerberg. Electric vehicle maker Rivian made a profit in the recent quarter, though it expects to lose money for the year. There's a merger in the energy drink business. Celsius will buy Alani Nu for $1.8 billion. Alani Nu's business has been boosted by social media influencers. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jimmy Coselda. Invested in you.
I'm Charles Payne. Listen to my Unstoppable Prosperity podcast so I can get you making money right now. 35 years on Wall Street taught me how to successfully invest in the stock market. In my 4-part series, I'm going to teach you too. Some of Fox Business's finest join me to help tell my story, impart crucial lessons from my Unstoppable Prosperity book, and to give you the tools to achieve your own financial dreams.
Listen anytime, everywhere at foxbusinesspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Got a plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, or sewer problem? Look no further than Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electric. Locally owned and trusted, Fred's team of professionals is ready to tackle projects both big and small. Why waste time and money on complicated DIY fixes? Fred's experienced team will get the job done right, saving you time, stress, and cash. And when it comes to sewer problems, make sure you call Fred's for a second opinion you can trust. At Fred's, they do it all. No project too big, no project too small. They do insulation, repairs, replacement, and maintenance. And they now offer service agreements. For reliable service, professional expertise, and solutions that work, call Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electric today. 217-586-3863. Or go to fredscu.com. You can always trust Fred's.
Hi, this is Ross Craig with Philo Exchange Bank. Do you need a loan? When it comes to personal or commercial lending, experience matters. Philo Exchange Bank is a different kind of bank with over 135 years of combined lending experience. Let us be your trusted partner. Unlike many other banks, our lending decisions are made quickly and efficiently within the walls of the bank.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Illinois basketball star Merez Johnson on needing some help from Sarah Champagne and Ben Quattrone.
I was going back home for a weekend and I was going to be downtown. I text Ben, can I get a different car, go to Chicago? And I got something small, a nice Buick, something that was nice. I got my car back when I came. It was quick. Ben and Sarah Champagne took care of me.
And Sarah Champagne would do that for you too. Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. That's SERRA Champagne.com. All right, so Illinois Duke, Brad Underwood met the media yesterday. It's tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Central Time. Fox
I
Sports.
thought it was 7 Central.
7 Eastern, I think.
Oh, I'm going to take a look.
Look it up.
Madison Square Garden, the Sentinel One Classic.
Yep, FS1 will carry it on TV. But Brad Underwood met the media yesterday.
Very, very excited about the opportunity to play Duke. Very excited to be in the Garden. It's the hallowed place. You know, it's anytime I get a chance to take a team to play Madison Square Garden, I'm going to do that. There's a special vibe about the place, the building, and the excitement. And if you're a basketball player, you're a basketball coach, playing there is very, very special. So, Duke team that's having a great year. John's done a really, really good job with this team. They've got a nice mix of veterans and new guys. Obviously, Cooper is as good as advertised, and I think he's one of the best players I've seen come into high school or into college basketball in years. His versatility, his athleticism. I think he just turned 18. Is is scary, but they've got other pieces. Khan's having a great year. They protect the rim. So I think they're a very, very good defensive team, which is a tribute to John and the attitude that he's put on that team.
There you go. Let's just play. And I know Thomas Lavicevic has been practicing for the second time. And, so 7 o'clock tomorrow Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, late.
That's right.
For Sam and his son to go to the ball game.
There you go.
Duke's supposed to be just, double digit. And again, we're not, we're still getting healthy. And then we play Iowa Tuesday. And then we have 2 games in 15 days after that. So maybe that's a time to get healthy, to really get the stuff back that we had. But again, I know it's very easy to just look at the record and say, man, what a disappointment. Keep in mind, since Oregon, Washington, since we went, remember the New Year, Happy New Year. And then we went to Oregon, Washington, went 2-0, blasted Oregon, survived Washington. And the team has literally not been together since. So when we were losing at Northwestern in overtime, that was legit. We had everybody. We lost in overtime. Brad said he had his worst coaching night in a long time. We lost at Alabama. We lost to Texas on that layup at the buzzer here.
That's right.
Otherwise, we were sitting on 3 losses, and then the team fell apart. Literally, figuratively, it fell apart because the pieces got sick and hurt.
That's right.
And that's, you can excuses. It's the reason. So it's too bad. It's a shame. Whether we can regather and all be on the court, the guys that played in the first semester, I don't know. Maybe not. But that's kind of what it isn't like, oh, they played so bad. They didn't shoot it very well this year. But it's in a lot of things that went against us, and it's just how it works in sports. The biggest ability, it might be ability.
Yep.
And we've really struggled with key players, and then the illness that is still there. We're still recovering from a month-long flu bug, and then it changed to the poop bug. It was a flu. It was a stomach flu.
Right.
Throwing up and everything and losing weight. So anyway, it's what it is, and so you have to keep going and fight hard and do your best. But it's not the matchup and think about us beating Missouri that night. I think of us beating Oregon.
Yeah.
Thinking, bring on Duke.
That's right.
I want the Oregon team to play Duke. And we're just not going to be able to do that because we just don't have the pieces. Merez Johnson's a hit. He kept growing and probably not back. It's, who knows? Maybe. But in any event, let's go play hard and play tough. And I'm hoping they compete. I'm hoping that with 10 minutes in the game, there's still a ball game. And the Illini women, by the way, Shauna Green's team playing number 3 at UCLA. They have a 6'7" woman.
Oh, wow.
And so the 6'7" woman gets position on Kendra Bostic.
Yeah.
And guess what? She's a foot taller. Not a foot, but she's taller,
right,
longer,
right.
Long arms. And if she gets the ball inside, well, okay, good luck.
Yeah.
6'7". She's wearing flats to the prom. Anyway, so they were very good, but we were down 32-18 at half and closed to 48-44. UCLA brought it down and made a key 3 and made an 8-0 run, but it was on Big Ten Network.
And next up will be Sunday at 4 at USC, so they'll stay on the West Coast.
Good.
Overtime, Canada over USA 3-2, and you happened to catch that game.
I watched on Edge. I've never watched hockey in my life, and I could actually follow the puck somewhat. And it's just a melee around the net, and you get down there and something bounces off somebody's shoulder, and then somebody hits it with their stick, and it goes. It's just.
Yep.
I saw one goal in an hour, and it was them. It was 2-2 when I picked up in the third period.
I was watching a little at 1-1 and 2-2. Yeah.
So anyway, they lost to Canada, but they were playing hockey. It wasn't a fight last night. They were actually playing hockey.
Okay, good.
They were serious about who's going to win this thing.
The first time when America won, it was 3 fights in the first 9 seconds.
Well, that was, I think, maybe a little of world wrestling, trying to get the fans involved and probably set that up to just kind of get it going, to get us talking about it.
But 4-nation face-off, I'm telling you, I hadn't heard of that before.
No, I think it's the first time they've done it.
Okay.
Anyway, it was a hit. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll be right back. Brother Johnny on Friday. I got some clips. You got to hear some of this. stand by. ESPN 93.5 and news weather coming up next.
Now at Jets, order any 3-topping pizza and get $5 off. Just use promo code 3TOP when ordering. That's the number 3, T-O-P. Want to impress family and friends and spend less? Get creative and build your own 3-topping pizza with their favorites for your holiday gatherings. Available in deep dish, thin crust, New York style, or hand-toss round. Any 3-topping Jets pizza for $5 off with promo code 3TOP. It's a deal. Jets, better because it has to be.
News. I'm CJ Papa. Kash Patel will be sworn in today as FBI director. Harsh words from Democrats after Patel's confirmation.
Went around Donald Trump. Kash Patel has proved himself to be a sycophantic suck-up.
Rhode Island Senator Sheldon Whitehouse upset over the confirmation. Patel begins day one of his 10-year term today.
He's vowing to let good cops be cops and to rebuild trust in the Bureau, telling me, quote, that the American people deserve an FBI that is transparent, accountable, and committed to justice.
Fox's Brooke Singman. Hamas will pay. That from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The terror group did not return the mother of 2 children taken on October 7th. The young boy's remains, as well as an elderly man, were returned yesterday to Israel. Hamas claims they're looking into Israel's assertion that the body was not the boy's mother. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Governor Pritzker supporting a ban on cell phones in the classroom in the state of Illinois. State now joining several other states that have already implemented a no-screen policy in schools. That policy has gone into effect in some central Illinois schools. Officials at those schools are already reporting increased student engagement. Well, local higher education officials protesting potential budget cuts to medical research in Illinois this week. Educators, researchers, and students at the University of Illinois Chicago rallied on campus Wednesday. They were protesting proposed cuts to the National Institutes of Health as ordered by the White House this week. Illinois community colleges may soon offer bachelor's degrees. The governor says the program would make it easier and more affordable for students, particularly working adults, to advance their careers. With 45 community colleges, Illinois boasts the third largest community college system in the U.S. at this time. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Thank you, Jim. Our weather this morning brought to you by our friends at Carl.
Carl reminds you when it comes to your health, they'll be there every step of the way, from convenient care to advanced diagnostics. Count on Carl. Learn more at carl.org.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather. Free Central Champaign and Memphis. Saturday, quiet spell is getting underway weather-wise and should take us into the early part of next week with a big pattern shift as well, back to and then well above seasonal expectations, from thaw-free cycles to a downright thaw that takes us into a good part of next week. Next weather system appearing to be a rain one that's ahead the middle part of next week as well. In the meantime, a very cold start, but a better afternoon. Sunshine, light wind, and 29 will level off to around 11 above 4 tonight with a fair sky. Tomorrow, partly sunny, more seasonal temperatures in the afternoon. Southwest wind and high about 34. Into the 20s tomorrow night, partly sunny, breezy, milder still for the day. Sunday at 43, 53 Monday, 54 on Tuesday. A healthy west-southwesterly wind. A little bit of rain will come through the area Wednesday next week with a high up to about 52. Then we'll cool with daytime readings into the 40s for next Thursday and Friday. Overnight readings into the upper 20s to middle 30s. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
All right, it is Friday. Good morning. Glad you made it to the weekend, and the weekend will be brighter and warmer by Monday. Isn't it 50-ish?
Yeah.
It's about 10 right now, but we made it.
Yes.
Bright sunshine emanating across the central Illinois region. Glad you're listening. We are in downtown Philo, the known center of the universe.
That's right.
Brother Johnny is here. Johnny, how are you?
Hey, Stevie J, we're good. We're good. We've been cool down here, suffering through some, actually 31 degrees. We went under the freezing level, but that's in the middle of the night. And it's really, you'd find it extremely pleasant at about 40. Sunny and 44.
Right. I took the stocking cap off at 20. I thought, man, this is pretty good. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's you were at an event last night with Steve Scalise.
That's the majority whip for the United States Congress. He's a Metairie man who been in Congress for about almost 20 years. But good guy, really good guy.
Guy that was shot at the baseball field almost died.
He was
right.
the guy that was hit and almost died.
Yeah.
And it was touch and go for a while. And of course, he still limps around.
Yeah,
he
right.
He did get back in and play that game the next. I think it took him like over a year, but he didn't run. But he got a base hit.
No kidding.
So,
that's awesome. That is awesome. But he's a salt of the earth good man, isn't he?
Really good man. I think he is. I mean, I don't know him as well as some of the other guys, but working with another Louisiana man, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. So we have the top 2 House members.
How about that?
That's the first time since 1776. That's never happened.
Wow. That's awesome.
If you'd have went to Vegas and bet on Louisiana being the first, you'd have probably hit pretty big.
Yeah, good odds there. All right, you know, we've talked a little about climate change and how it's almost sacrilegious to say anything against it because you're ignorant or uninformed. Joe Rogan, who's, all intents and purposes known as a Democrat, I think he's kind of looked at some things and more of a moderate or maybe independent. Here's Joe Rogan talking about an article he read and saw in the very liberal Washington Post.
Did you see the Washington Post article that they published recently about temperature change on Earth?
No.
Like what they've realized is over the last, X amount of thousands of years that the temperature on Earth is plummeting.
Yeah.
And it's dropping. And then when they look at the dips, this is the most important thing for anybody that's really freaked out about climate change. There's no static temperature of Earth ever. Mm-hmm. There's never been a time where it maintains a temperature until human beings came along and put it all up. Mm-hmm. That is just not real. Mm-hmm. Before human beings ever existed, if you trust these core samples, there's been a giant rise and fall and this constant dip. There it is.
Yeah.
Scientists have captured Earth's climate over the last 485 million years. Here's a surprising place we stand now. Look at the dip at the end.
Whoa.
That's where we are.
Yeah,
that's reality.
Okay.
And then if you look at the course of history, you look at the rise and fall, like it's never a straight line. Way before human beings ever existed, if you believe these silly people. Way before human beings had ever existed. There's always this rise and fall. And this idea that the whole thing is based on carbon emissions from human beings, it's not true. Right. We might be having an effect, but we're having a small effect, a very small effect. And the other things are completely outside of our control, including solar activity, the distance between the Earth and the sun. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of factors.
I think you've kind of been saying that, haven't you, Johnny?
Well, I think there's a lot of people who've been saying it, but not very many like Joe Rogan. And that's what's happened in this last cycle, political cycle, is the Dems and the climate change progressives have lost the Joe Rogan. They've lost him. And in other words, wow. And here's the deal: 250 million years ago it's colder than it's been since it was 250 million years ago in the Permian period. Right now, and remember, you probably do, Steve. This was global warming.
Yeah, right.
Up until about 2005 or 6. Then it stopped warming.
Yeah.
So they changed it to climate change.
Right.
And as we heard from Greg Solier about 5 minutes ago, the climate's changing again this weekend.
Yeah.
And so that's what it does. It's called climate. And it changes. So you can't go wrong saying there's climate change, but I think Joe's hit on the main point, which is it's not being affected by humans to any degree that's significant enough to do the things that have been proposed and spend the money that we're about to spend. So I think there's going to be a step back on it, and there's been a lot of people fighting just on scientific fact. And so you have to realize it's a parts per million of carbon dioxide, and it's something like 300 to 400 is what has gone up. It's averaged over these geologic periods 2,700, and it's been as high as 7,000. And they're saying that we're going to burn up. We're at 400. We need to get charcoal fire pits, and everybody needs to burn them 24/7 because we're closer to freezing to death, as you felt this week.
Right.
So that is very interesting that Joe
picked it up.
Reading that from the Washington Post.
Right. Yeah. That's Jeff Bezos. That's all, former rival. Now I think he's on the Trump team.
I think he switched as well.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. All right, so another Cajun James Carville was on Sean Hannity last night, and he was saying, "I just tell you, stand down. It's collapsing. His numbers are collapsing. Just stand down. It's going to implode." So he's talking like that, and then Chris Matthews sitting with a panel of Democrats just exploding, and I don't like the verbiage, the way he ends this thing.
You know, it's unbelievable, and then he treats little countries like Ukraine like they don't matter, Europe like it doesn't matter. He's the big boss at home and the big boss overseas, and nobody stands in his way. And I watch the Democrats and the media too. It's very hard to take on a firing squad. A lot of bullets coming your way, all aiming at you, and you've got to shoot back in all directions at the same time. This guy's taking down the Congress. He's taking down the rights of the American people. He's the big boss overseas and back here. The big boss. Listen to him. Do what he says. Nobody's saying that. Chris Murphy's trying. I keep waiting. Who's going to stand up?
He's making a lot of noise.
Who's going to take a shot back at this guy?
All right, firing squad, bullets, take a shot at this guy. I don't think that's accidental. I think there are people that are half cocked, half mentally ill that hear words like that.
Oh boy.
I think it's horrible what they do.
Well, and I don't think he was even thinking. They're kind of blinded in rage, but I disagree with his analysis. I think Trump's trying to do things that'll help the American people as a whole, and it's not even going to be that easy for the American people because you have to go through fixing it. And so it's quite a reset, and it's an adjustment. But no, I think the things I'm hearing that they're doing, they make sense to me. The money we're blowing on things without even starting to recite lists is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And what it says is the government's so big, nobody knows what the guy down the hall's doing. And you got to get control of it because we've got to send our money in or we get in trouble.
But do you think it's possible to get control of a monolith this big in maybe 2 years? I mean, it's just...
I think it's possible to get better control.
Yeah.
He's doing that already in 1 month. He's got better control of it, just finding out what's there. Mm-hmm. We're getting a huge pushback from these, I guess, crazies, I still call them. And it's on the far left, too, but they got control. Pushback for looking where the money's going to be. They're screaming, you can't look. Don't check that. What are you doing? You're not even elected. Well, neither are these people who are sending checks out. That doesn't... Don't look. Stop it. I mean, it's just obvious that they don't want us to see it. Why? Because we won't like it.
Yeah.
The American people, you can use that phrase, the American people in general, that goes more than 50-50 now. We're talking 75%, I'm going to go ahead and throw a number out, would like to see where the money's going, and we're not liking some of the things we're hearing. So, and they just can't even compromise to the point of saying, well, maybe we shouldn't be spending $20 million on the Sesame Street for a while. Maybe $2 million.
They had a anti-Doge rally, and they asked a guy, "Do you think we should spend $20 million on Iraq with Sesame Street? Do you need that?" The guy said, "Maybe."
Yeah.
and another guy,
I'm a firm maybe.
He said,
"That's why I'm rallying."
Another guy asked the same question. It was like he didn't know anything about it. Yeah. He just, what was that? I mean, okay, so we will again.
Well, and aren't these protesters being paid?
Maybe. Right, but who's paying them, Johnny? I thought a lot of people have bailed on that.
It's kind of they just have this issue and go. I was watching Morning Joe. It was a clip, I think, and he said people need to settle down. Yeah, nobody likes to pay $4.50 for eggs. It doesn't matter. And said, well, actually, it's $7.50, Joe. And he goes, really?
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right, so Brother Johnny's on the line, ESPN 93.5. Okay, from New Orleans. So the Ukraine, Russia, the trying to talk to everybody. Marco Rubio had some pretty interesting things to say about President Volodymyr Zelensky.
When President Trump posts that President Zelensky is a dictator without elections, what are you thinking?
I think President Trump is very upset at President Zelensky, and in some cases, and rightfully so. Look, number one, Joe Biden had frustrations with Zelensky. People shouldn't forget it. There are newspaper articles out there about how he cursed at him in a phone call because Zelensky, instead of saying thank you for all your help, is immediately out there messaging what we're not doing or what he's not getting. I think the second thing is, frankly, I was personally very upset because we had a conversation with President Zelensky, the vice president and I, the three of us, and we discussed this issue about the mineral rights. And we explained to them, look, we want to be in a joint venture with you, not because we're trying to steal from your country, but because we think that's actually a security guarantee. If we're your partner in an important economic endeavor, we get to get paid back some of the money the taxpayers have given, close to $200 billion. And it also, now we have a vested interest in the security of Ukraine. And he said, sure, we want to do this deal. It makes all the sense in the world. The only thing is I need to run it through my legislative process.
Okay, so he's supposed to run it through his legislative process. He likes the deal. Now listen.
They have to approve it. I read 2 days later that Zelensky's out there saying, I rejected the deal. I told him, no way, that we're not doing that. Well, that's not what happened in that meeting. So you start to get upset by somebody. We're trying to help these guys. One of the points the president made in his messaging is not that we don't care about Ukraine, but Ukraine is on another continent. You know, it doesn't directly impact the daily lives of Americans. We care about it because it has implications for our allies and ultimately for the world. There should be some level of gratitude here about this. And when you don't see it and you see him out there accusing the president of living in a world of disinformation, that's very counterproductive. And I don't need to explain to you or anybody else, President Trump's not the kind of person that's going to sit there and take that. He's very transparent. He's going to tell you exactly how he feels. And he sent a message that he's not going to get gamed here. He's willing to work on peace because he cares about Ukraine. And he hopes Zelensky will be a partner in that, and not someone who's out there putting this sort of counter messaging to try to, hustle us in that regard.
Well,
that's not going to be productive here.
That would tick me off too, Johnny.
Yeah.
Well, it's tough. The guys have been through quite a trauma, by the way. But the U.S. look, the United States of America with Obama said we need to start moving NATO across and spread the democracies, and I think Ukraine should be NATO. Why would we guarantee to defend Ukraine? They weren't in any danger until they said we're going to put them in NATO, and then Putin says, "I'll wreck that country." They're not going to be in NATO. You're not going to put weapons.
Now, why would he be so adamant? Why would Putin care that they're in NATO? Because we would protect them.
Because if they're NATO, they're going to have bases in Ukraine, which is like putting missiles on Cuba.
Okay.
It was very analogous. And he said, don't do it. And so we were, and of course our narrative was we were so worried that Putin was going to attack NATO that we screwed with their elections, that we helped overthrow one of the presidents that Putin liked, got a guy, and it ended up Zelensky, and we were so terrified he's going to attack Ukraine that he attacked Ukraine, because we did things that alarmed him. And he wanted that land back anyway. We gave him a reason to do it, and then he didn't want to mess with Trump. But then he saw his opening when Biden actually said, I don't know if we do anything. We have to see how far in he goes. Remember that?
Yeah. Well, he looked at the camera, and Joe Biden's only response was, don't. That's it.
Well,
that's how he got.
Yeah, and that was great if it would have been Trump.
Yeah,
but nobody believed he'd do anything. And then we ended up spending $300 billion-ish so far because we have to help defend democracy. But what about the week when we watched the tanks rolling through?
Yeah, I know.
To get to Kiev.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we have at least lent their pilots some jets and just? It was 1939, as in that was the technology. Blow the tanks into the next galaxy. They didn't have any way of doing it.
Yeah.
We didn't help them until basically the country was wrecked. So now, okay, we got to pick up the pieces. Zelensky, I think he was in media, Steve, like you. Could be you.
No, I want to tell a story when you're done with this thought about him. Go ahead.
Because he's been fighting heroically, and now he's trying to get the best he can. He doesn't know what he wants. He doesn't want to give up any land. He's lost that land. And now I think his number one thing is, well, how are you going to make sure he doesn't do this again? And what Scalise said last night, he says, well, I think maybe we could say we will put him in NATO if you even make a move towards Ukraine again. In other words, that's kind of a guarantee, but it's not, but it is, but it's not. So that's what he may be able to get is some form of security or assurance. And then we need to get that deal with the rare earth elements.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right. Okay, I have a hard time seeing Vladimir Zelensky. I have this image when he was on America's Got Talent.
Oh.
And he and his partner the piano is facing out, so you can't see them. except
Now,
for
when was this?
Oh gosh, I'd say 10 or 15 years ago.
So
maybe?
he wasn't the president of Ukraine.
No, he was not the president of Ukraine.
Okay.
But they're playing the piano, and you can only see from essentially their waist up. It looks like they're playing the piano with their groin.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they're jumping up and down like they're hitting it with their groin, and that was their act. And that's Zelensky. And you're going, really? He's the president of Ukraine?
Well, then what do you expect, Steve? So we're trying to work things out with him. He is the president, and so he's got to agree to this, and Putin's got to agree to it.
Right.
And I think they're both tired. This hasn't gone well for Putin. It hasn't, and of course it's been a tragedy, a global tragedy. The country of Ukraine, really quite a country with high resources, great people, and they just been completely destroyed. They're in rubble, and so we all want it to end. I'm sure they do, and whatever happens, and of course you do have to talk to both sides. So Trump's getting a feel from Putin, I think, without Zelensky around, of what he might be able to get. I think you got to start somewhere. And so he actually has a better relationship with Putin. It looks
Well,
like.
if you start talking bad about Donald Trump, then he's getting bad advice. You don't do that.
Yeah, but Zelensky didn't start the war, so
I know.
He shouldn't have said that. I don't think even Mark Levine said, Zelensky didn't start it.
Right. That's right. Okay. Finally, Illinois goes to New York City tomorrow night and takes on Duke.
Number 3 Duke tomorrow.
7 o'clock
Johnny.
Central Time on FS1. So
It's my only real question is, how's everybody feeling?
I think again it was my boys at the coffee were a little bit down about Illinois, but since Oregon we've not been whole, and as you say, it's not an excuse, it's a reason. And so our hope is we have 2 games after Tuesday. I think we have 2 games in the final 15 days. So there's time in there to heal maybe. And the question is, we certainly have to beat Iowa Tuesday here in Champaign. Have to. Otherwise, I think there'll be bubble talk if we lose 7 in a row. You gotta get a win. So again, can we beat Duke? It's a long shot based on our health. I think if you tell me after Oregon, can we beat Duke? I'd have said yes, we could. It's possible.
But I got to tell you that I'd have said that long after Oregon. We can beat them. And look, remember you're 18 or 19, you got better quick. So you have 3 or 4 days. They could be feeling a lot better. There's some key guys. Not all of them are sick, but it's really been impossible to hold that rhythm. And our strength really was the way Coach had them playing with 8 or 9 guys. And he was transitioning great. That's very difficult to do. But when you take 3 or 4 of them out every week, you can't do it.
And then you don't have Thomas Isevich has had 2 practices in the last 30 days. He said it makes such a difference in practice because of who he is and the energy he brings. So you can't even practice stuff. They don't have unbelievable.
He's been a key guy. And then, of course, Merez Johnson, any news?
Again, indefinitely. They just don't know that he's in the hyperbolic chamber. He's doing all this stuff. They got some stem cell stuff working. They got a little hole in his cast. They're putting something down there. So the hope is maybe something later in March. I don't know. I think a broken wrist to me says a broken wrist. I don't know how that heals. I don't know.
It's hard to say.
Hard to say.
A key, really good player. Really good player.
Amazing.
So, I'm still for University of Illinois. Fighting Illini.
That's
Go
right.
get them.
That's right.
And
the Duke Blue Devils, they can be beat. So we'll see. What, Diane?
I don't know if you've ever crossed paths with Richard Itch Jones, but he was the baseball coach and such good friends and a mentor to Dan Hartleb, our current coach, in the SIU stage and the Illinois stage for 15 seasons. He passed away this week.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Really good man.
I haven't seen him for a while, but he was a great guy.
Oh, man.
I remember him.
Always smiling.
Can't think of him without a big smile, grin, and just knew a ton about baseball. It really, great man, and our prayers with Sue and the family, just great people. Well, Johnny, we will keep track of stuff and see what happens. And
well, we didn't even mention Cash Patel much. He's going to be. I actually don't trust the FBI from the top. I mean, we got the best law enforcement people on the planet. And we were using them for things that we didn't need to use them on, particularly our own folks' investigation of Americans who were suspected terrorists, which were like Trump when they invaded his Mar-a-Lago home, and that kind of thing. And so we'll see what comes out. There's a lot of the last 25 years, Steve. There hasn't been anything you could shred. It's all out there somewhere.
Well, and let's just say Doge keeps going, and they find a great deal of problems with money going to lawmakers. If anything's investigated, it'll be retribution. See, we told you so. They were just out to get him. He's got a list.
No, that's right too. Well, Biden tried to pardon everybody for that very reason. That's right. Not because he'll go after him, because he'll find out what we did.
Yeah, right.
So,
lastly, do you think that the people that make $200,000 in Congress that are now worth $88 million, should that be looked at? Because there's a long list that purportedly they're worth that kind of money. They can't be that rich, can they?
Well, I don't think we should waste a whole lot of time on it. They're going to be in a position where they're able to take the opportunity America provides. What they need to do with that is make it easier for every American to have a chance. Not hand it all out to everybody, but take the opportunities. They see this coming, and they're going to invest. I think what we're doing in let's say Idaho is going to result in a real good deal here. So you could waste a lot of time, and then they'll do it back to the other people in the other party, because they won't do it to their own party, either side. Okay. So I don't think we waste a lot of energy on it. The things that went on, forget the money, just some of the things and the people who have suffered because of bad decisions, and then losing control of the government in terms of function and efficiency has been, in the big picture, what we have to work on. It'll all shake out if you start to get a handle on it and get people with integrity involved.
Good.
So
good,
you
good.
can't you can't get even with everybody.
Yeah.
That would take.
That would be good.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
I think we have a lot taller order of things to get done that are more impactful. Johnny,
and Trump said, "How are you going to get even?" He says, "Success will be my revenge."
That's right. That's right. If everybody's
that's
successful, that's I love it.
A lot of wrestlers in town, Johnny, too, with the IHSA tournament. Remember those wrestling days? You never did do that, though.
No, I should have. I was trying to gain weight for football, and I should have lost weight for wrestling. Doggone it. Well, it's like Yogi Berra said, when there's a fork in the road, take it. So.
Johnny, thank you. We'll call you next week.
All right, thanks, Stevie.
Take care. Appreciate it. That's Brother Johnny, ESPN 93.5. Going to break for the news. Come back. Mate Barenbaum's going to jump on.
Yes, she is. Insect Fear Film Festival. I think in its 42nd year at Bollinger.
I think I might have been interviewing her for 41. 41 of those appearances.
Entomology Department at the University of Illinois.
Yeah, she's probably the best bug person in the world.
Absolutely.
Wrote a textbook, and she got a medal at the White House. Crazy.
Spotlighting tarantulas this weekend, tomorrow.
Scary. We'll be right back.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Dr. Ash Al-Dada, he is a cardiologist at OSF Healthcare. So cardiologist means I do what?
I specialize in heart ailments, and that could be a plethora of different ailments of the heart. If you look at heart disease, I would kind of compartmentalize it into 4 different aspects. The number one is the most common one, which is coronary artery disease. That's blockages of the arteries. The second is irregular heartbeat or arrhythmias. Third is valvular problem. And finally, heart failure, which is inefficiency of the heart pump function.
Well, what are the best things a person can do to be heart healthy?
The most important thing is like your car. You got to change the oil. You got to rotate your tires. You got to maintain it. So, for example, heart disease is associated with smoke. Don't smoke. Heart disease is associated with diabetes. Try not to get to that level where you become diabetic. Control your weight, control the eating habits, avoid high fructose, high glucose type of food. That tends to really control the risk factors.
We can learn more at osfhealthcare.org.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
It's cruel and malicious. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Israel's angry prime minister says, wanting to avenge Hamas's botched release of 4 dead hostages.
I vow that I will not rest until the savages who executed our hostages are brought to justice. They do not deserve to walk this earth.
Benjamin Netanyahu calls what happened yesterday evil.
Gaza residents gathered to celebrate and dance as Hamas paraded the coffins of Israeli baby and toddler Ariel and Kfir Bibas. Hamas said they returned the body of the boy's mother, Shiri, as well, but Israeli forensic officials say the remains of the woman do not match any hostage. Hamas officials now say they're looking into what happened.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Hamas is set to release 6 more hostages who are alive tomorrow. Kash Patel will be sworn in today as FBI director. Democrats don't want that.
When left to his own devices, Kash Patel has proven himself to be a wildly vindictive partisan.
But Senator Sheldon Whitehouse and the Democrats did not have enough votes to block Patel's confirmation. Just before dawn at the Senate.
In this vote, the yeas are 52, the nays are 48.
After a vote-a-rama that lasted all night and included 26 amendment votes, the Senate passing a budget reconciliation bill along party lines that includes $300 billion in border and national security, with spending cuts to offset increases in spending.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz at the Capitol. The GOP is using a process that prevents a Democrat filibuster to block the budget blueprint, but the House would have to approve that same bill. This is Elon Musk, and the Department of Government Efficiency keep working to slash spending. He told the CPAC Conservative Conference it's easy to find waste.
It's like being in a room, and this target, the wall, the roofs, and the floor are all targets. So it's like you're going to close your eyes and go shoot in any direction. You can't miss.
Democrats have challenged Musk and Doge in court as illegal. America's listening to Fox News.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
The day after holding talks with Ukraine's president, the special U.S. envoy to that country, Keith Kellogg, says they had extensive and positive discussions, but there is tension over U.S. and Russian negotiations.
A top Chinese official says Beijing supports President Donald Trump's bid to work with Russia to end the war in Ukraine. China's backed Russia throughout its war against Ukraine, and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi's comments at the G20 meeting in Johannesburg coming after U.S. and Russian officials met without Kyiv's involvement in Saudi Arabia this week to discuss ending the conflict. President Trump, who's threatened to pull U.S. aid from Ukraine, has been lashing out at Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, calling him a dictator and blaming Kyiv for Moscow's invasion 3 years ago. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
On Wall Street, the Dow might keep falling. Futures down more than 200 points the day after a 450-point Dow plunge. NASDAQ futures, however, are rising before the opening bell this hour. Canadians are celebrating a big win over the Americans on ice in Boston.
The championship of the NHL's inaugural Four Nations face-off, what felt like a major international title, even though it was only an exhibition that replaced the NHL All-Star Game.
It's a great game. It's a great sport. And I hope we put on a good show these last couple days and gain some fans. You know, ultimately, you can't ask for a better show than that.
Connor McDavid with ESPN after he scored the game-winning goal in overtime for Team Canada, which defeated Team USA 3-2. NHL regular season resumes tomorrow.
That's Fox's Jared Max. Now, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau boasted about the win on social media after President Trump said before the game,
I call him Governor Trudeau.
the president repeating what he wants for Canada.
I think they have to become the 51st state.
Well, this is what Prime Minister Trudeau posted on X. You can't take our country, and you can't take our game. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Governor Pritzker is supporting a ban on cell phones in the classroom in the state. Illinois now joining several other states that have already implemented a no-screen policy in schools. That policy has gone into effect in some central Illinois schools. Officials at those schools are already reporting increased student engagement. And accused of fleeing the scene of a deadly accident in Urbana remains in custody after being denied pretrial release. Julio Bold, a Mexican citizen facing charges. 2 people died when Bold, who was allegedly drunk, slammed into the back of another car January 19th at University and Kohler Avenue. Urbana's police chief says his department taking data-driven approach to policing. It means collecting crime stats from around the Urbana area and reallocating resources accordingly. The higher the crime in a particular area, the more police presence. The chief adds that the department working more closely with community leaders and organizations to keep the city safer. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, thank you, Jim. Off and running, final hour of the week. Glad you're listening. We check our meteorologist with some good news brought to you by Kurt Lenschow, State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, Kurt and State Farm are there. And Greg is here, and we're talking warmer weather, and I'm so excited.
You ought to be, here in these waning days of February. Higher sun angle, brighter skies, more sun, melting away of any little snow and ice piles and a coating here and there. And dry time needed in some of these flooded out and snow-covered and iced-over areas into the Lower Ohio, Wabash, and parts of Kentucky. And we'll kind of run away some of the snowpack and snow cover that did help to insulate some of those pasture lands and winter wheat fields over the northern and central plains, i.e. that 20 to 30 below zero type nonsense the past few mornings. Not done with cold air. We think just beyond the first couple of days of the new month of March, there's another pattern shift back into this colder stuff and a far more active winter one shaping up thereafter. So enjoy the respite while you may. 9 at Rantoul, 13 at Danville, same at Bloomington Normal, still hovering either side of zero because of snow on the ground down St. Louis ways, but closer to home, 11 now with sunshine and a light west-northwest wind over at Willard. 29 the forecast high. That's still about 4 or 5 shy of normal, but we're making amends. Light west-southwest wind and tons of sunshine. We'll bottom out tonight fair, cold and 11. More seasonal temperatures tomorrow afternoon with a partly sunny sky and a high at 34. We will begin to pick up the wind zone over the next few days. Southwest 8 to 16 and up to 20, 25 miles per hour on Sunday. But that jump starts temperatures to 43 Sunday afternoon, 53 even better on Monday, 54 Tuesday. We've got a little rain system coming our way the middle part of next week with daytime temperatures in the lower 50s. And we will start a cooling trend with 40s next Thursday and Friday, then 30s for that following weekend. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Well, since he wears shorts all the time anyway, I might put him in the game against Duke. It's Madison Square Garden, Chapin Rose. You want to play guard, forward, center? What do you want to play?
No, I heard your point, Steve.
Yeah, you've got your shorts on today, right? Is it above 12? Yeah. It's above 12.
Yeah.
It's our state senator Chapin Rose. Was there anything you took away from Governor Pritzker's speech that you liked?
Well, look, I like the part where he said he's going to start getting rid of immigrant health care.
But just a certain thing. What about the middle guys?
Hang on. Can I put an asterisk on it?
Yeah, right. That's right.
But it wasn't all free immigrant health care. And no sooner than he said it than his progressive left supermajority Democrats had a press conference immediately afterwards blasting him, and they're never going to pass it anyway. So it's just, I mean, here's the thing. On the face of it, under Governor Pritzker, if his proposal were to pass, spending will have increased $15 billion under Governor Pritzker, or 37% since he got here. Okay, Stevie, it's already up 32%. Okay, through this current year, if his new proposal with an additional $2 billion in spending goes into effect, it'll be up 37%. Now, how many people listening to this have gotten a 37% pay raise just in the last couple of years? Anybody? Has anybody listening to this show this morning gotten a 37% pay raise.
Yeah.
But the state of Illinois, under Governor Pritzker's proposal, would have gotten, and they've already gotten a 32% pay raise. Under this one, we'd be up to 37%. I mean, when does it end? And then you contrast this against the federal government with those that's actually cutting and trying to find efficiencies. And look, I get this hasn't been pretty, and sometimes they're cutting things and saying, oh wait, maybe we do need to bring that back. Yes, and it's going to be messy, but at least they're trying to find some savings. And listen, I don't care how far left wing you are. If you can't look at any level of government and say, hey, maybe there's things that we don't really need, then I can't help you, okay? But everybody else looking at any level of government says, yeah, there's definitely some things that you can cut.
No question about it. Chapin Rose, what about Governor Pritzker allowing Donald Trump to live in his head for free? He mentioned Trump 4 times, talked about Hitler. Does he not remember the election? I think the wokeism side of things, I do think that that's just not going to work to the American people right now, but yet he's appealing to very far left people. Is he truly that far left?
Look, this is the part where I can't even dignify the last 5-10 minutes of his speech, okay? Because he's supposed to be governor of Illinois. There was supposed to be the state of the state, not state of Illinois, state budget address. Not U.S. president, not the federal government, the state of Illinois, okay? But he can't even park his presidential ambition plane long enough to get through the state of Illinois budget address before he goes into his, got to go after Trump, I'm a uniter, not a divider. Really, buddy? Because you just called everybody in the room a Nazi that disagrees with you.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what he did. Okay? Literally, that's what he did. He called everybody who disagrees with him a Nazi. Really? Are you serious right now, buddy? I mean, you're the governor of Illinois. Frickin' get over yourself. Okay? Get over yourself. Park the president's ambition plane long enough to get through this budget and then quit being governor and then go run for president or whatever you want to do. But stop it. Just stop it.
Yeah.
Not everybody who disagrees with you as a Nazi. And oh, by the way, of everybody in the country right now, there's only a handful of you sitting governors that actually closed states, told kids they couldn't go to school. Okay, you want to talk about authoritarianism? Told kids they couldn't go to school. Indiana was open. Wisconsin was open. Missouri was open. Iowa was open. Kentucky was open. You know whose schools weren't open? Ours, Governor Pritzker. You want to talk about authoritarianism? That's pretty authoritarian to me.
Okay, so is he really truly running in 2028?
Of course he is.
Okay, so
I mean, has there ever been any doubt this has been the goal the whole time?
I don't think so. But is this the right strategy for a Democrat to stay far, far left? Do they really think it'll work next time?
It's the right strategy for a Democrat to win a Democratic primary for president because that's how far off the deep end the Democratic Party has gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you have to do to run for president? Well, the first step is win your primary, right? Mm-hmm. To win the progressive left of America, which long since jumped the shark from the rest of America, okay, is that far left. Okay, look, this is the group of people that was protesting Israel after, hundreds upon hundreds of Israelis were murdered, attacked, raped, beaten, and held hostage. And yet they're still out there, everywhere from MIT to the University of Illinois to Harvard to UCLA to Berkeley protesting. Okay? That's the Democratic Party of America. The pro-Hamas people who are out there. Okay? That's who Governor Pritzker is trying to win their vote.
So
okay?
this
is the first step.
Does Illinois ever change? Does it? When would it ever be likely that a Republican is in control in the state again?
So it's funny. After the speech the other day, I sat there and I just said to myself, actually I said to people around me, I just want a governor that wants to be governor of Illinois.
Yeah.
That's all they want to do.
Right.
They just want to make sure Illinois' trains run on time, that Illinois' lights turn on when you flip the switch. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That we're not trying to do all these other things. We're just worried about Illinois. And by the way, I would, who am I? I'm just some kid from Charleston, Illinois. But, my argument would be the best way to go higher in political office is to manage what you're doing today well. Okay? If you want to get to the next level of office, show the voters that you've taken care of what you could control in your current view, right? In your current purview. But, I mean, between, we had a successive string of these guys. And look, I'll throw Rauner into it, too. You know what I mean? I'm not even going to be partisan on this. I mean, I just want a guy who just wants to make sure the trains run on time. That's it. Like, people get up, send their kids to school, make enough money, put food on the kids' table, send them to college. I mean, like, where's that guy or gal?
Yeah. Well, Chapin, we appreciate you doing it and being in such a minority. As I've mentioned 1,000 times, man, that's not that easy work. By the way, if you were in Charleston, I'm trying to think if you were that kid that kept calling me, making a request on WEIC to play My Sharona. I don't know. You might have been.
The old WEIC days, huh?
I was on. You remember WEIC down in Charleston?
I totally remember WEIC. Yeah. Didn't Robert Reese get his start there at one point in time?
I'm probably older than Robert Reese.
For me, it was WEIU at the time.
Yeah.
Were you in Coleman Hall? Or?
What's that?
I was.
Were you in Coleman?
Yeah, we were in Coleman.
I grew up across the street from all of that on 3rd Street.
Oh, well, I lived on First Street.
Behind...
You're probably that kid that rode your bike by my house. I remember that. Yeah.
Well, listen, I'll tell you this. When I was in junior high, Sean Payton was the quarterback of the EIU Panthers.
Wow.
And as a little junior Panther Club member, we'd be running around, shagging balls that come through the uprights, and then throw them back. And so after he won the Super Bowl with the Saints, as coach of the Saints, he came back and did a fundraiser for EIU.
Wow.
And it was like 3 weeks after he'd won the Super Bowl. It was just absolutely the coolest thing.
Wow.
And I got to meet him and shake his hand. And if you remember, that was the one where he called the outside kick to start the second half.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Well,
and I looked at him and said, I'm like, this is amazing. Like, it was so cool. But anyway.
And that special teams coach in that Super Bowl was Greg McMahon, who helped recruit as a football player at Eastern to get Sean Payton to come to Eastern. So it's a small world and a small circle.
I never knew the Greg McMahon backstory to get him to come to Eastern, but it was, you think about Eastern, you've got McMahon, you had Brad Childress as the head coach, you got Shanahan as the head coach, you got Romo, you got Garoppolo. I mean, think about that. Charleston, Illinois.
Yeah,
think about those 5 names.
You probably didn't call me in the radio because you were only 5. So anyway,
no.
5. That's just. I'm 952 years old today. It's just come on, man.
You look good.
Good golly.
Was it really your birthday? If it's your birthday, I'll say happy birthday.
No, it's not. I'm just saying that it feels like, based on you not being old enough to call me when I'm a disc jockey, hurts me. Hurts me a lot.
Well,
Chapin,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say I appreciate your efforts and the frustration. The people in Champaign County are not all leftists, and there's a lot of people I would consider very common sense, and I think I try and represent that part of the wing of people. What are you talking about? You don't want to deport criminal, illegal aliens. What are you kidding? What? I don't get it.
No, it's just look at the terrible. I mean, look at the terrible tragedy in Urbana 3 weeks ago, a month ago now. I mean, the guy had already been deported once, and the border is so porous and so open and so easy to walk across. He's back here long enough to take the lives of
Unbelievable.
2 young ladies
so
who
sad.
had everything ahead of them.
So sad.
What did she say? Julie Reed said 78 miles an hour is accident reconstruction.
Oh, my Lord.
78 miles an hour on University Avenue in front of Carl Hospital. I mean, 78 miles an hour, do you understand it? I mean, and he shouldn't have even been here.
Right.
And like, Steve, I don't even think this is, like I do think, like Republicans, you used to have, like, a party platform, and you had, 1, 2, 3, here's the things we stand for, and there's 10 things, 15 things, whatever it is, right? Now it's just, common sense. What has happened to common sense in this country? And yet, you have this terrible thing happen, and it doesn't even, really make a dent in progressive liberalism. There's, still that, open borders. And by the way, let me just say this to you, too, and I do think this is important, and I think Trump has got to figure this out. It's not enough just to deport illegals. We've got to do that. You have to secure the border. That's an absolute must. But then we really, as a country, have to find a way for people to come here lawfully that want to come here and work and pay taxes and eventually become U.S. citizens. You can't, that's the problem. For 20 years, 30 years, 40 years now, whatever it is, everyone in Washington, D.C. has stuck their head in the sand and pretended There's millions of people here that aren't supposed to be here, and yet we provided no lawful way for people to come here like everybody's grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents, right? Came here.
Yep.
I mean, it's crazy. You can't have a system. I mean, it's like this set up to fail. The Democrats still Joe Biden had all this time to fix it when he had control of the House and the Senate and was president, and he does nothing. Yet he claims he cares. Really? You claim you care. You just left the border wide open. You do absolutely nothing to keep scumbag criminals out of our country, and then you have these poor innocent two ladies that are dead. Their futures have been taken from them. Their families have had their loved ones taken from them, and at the end of the day, when we look at it, like, well, geez, how did that happen? I don't know. Maybe because you left the door wide open, you goof.
No.
I mean, it's just, we've got to get back to common sense, and I think we're getting there.
Maybe if they get crushed in the midterms, which would be unusual, party power usually loses. But if they get crushed in the midterms, maybe they correct and say that's not going to work. We got to stop. We got to tell the progressives leave because we're not doing that anymore. So you need a Joe Manchin. You need a what's the guy on the 5? Harold somebody, a moderate, a guy that'll come more toward the middle you can actually talk to. That's what the Democrats were.
Well, look, I think at some level, regardless of party affiliation, this Fetterman character is starting to
I'm
become
telling
like
you,
one
I
of the-
like John
one of the
Fetterman. I
people
like
that
him.
Everybody, yeah, I mean, people's like, huh, yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, he's a little bit left of center, but he's got a little bit of common sense to him. He's not completely off the rails.
Not at all.
And,
Harold Ford Jr. Harold Ford was a former congressman. That's a Democrat I can talk to. Joe Manchin. I like Joe Manchin. So when are we getting back to that?
At the end of the day, guys, that is not who is controlling the primary process for the Democratic Party. I mean, look at Fetterman. Like, his staff is leaving now because he's gotten too close to the center, right?
Wow.
And
nuts.
And I guess at some level, I think that Doge is going to have, they're going to make great headways in getting efficiency back in government. All right. Is it going to be messy on the right? Yeah, they're going to make some mistakes on the right. Yeah, they are. But I actually believe that if some of these programs are, truly in the best interest of the United States of America, they will reemerge and come back, sooner than later. But the other stuff, like the thousands of dollars for a transgendered comic book in Guatemala or Ecuador or wherever the heck it was, that'll be gone, as it should be. As it should be. What on earth were the taxpayers doing paying for that in the first
Shouldn't
place?
be. Chapin, how can people connect with Chapin Rose?
SEN, chapinrose.com. There's a contact me button. Love to hear from you. And, Stevie, we always end on talking about Illinois something.
Yeah.
Last time we talked, I think we jinxed the entire rest of the basketball season.
Well, you know what? You got to have your team, and I'd like my team in the last 3 weeks to get healthy and then get some time together. It's unbelievable.
It's brutal, brother. And I tell you what, that Evasit's character, that guy's tough. I mean, he takes 2 bags of IV fluids and drives himself to Madison. Holy cow.
Nuts.
But at the end of the day, we got to get healthy, man.
Yeah, got to get healthy.
I don't get it. But we'll just say go Illini.
Yep.
And hopefully you and I will have put more spirit into it this time than we did.
We will. We will, sir. Chapin, thanks for being on, bud. We appreciate it very much.
Yep.
Chapin Rose, our state senator, ESPN 93.5. Well, as you celebrate the special person in your life, give them the love letter that lives on, an estate plan. Busey wants you to think about this. Now, preparing an estate plan ensures your family and financial goals are met after you're gone. You never know when the inevitable will come for us or for our loved ones. According to a survey from caring.com, more than half of Americans, about 60%, do not have an updated estate plan. Complete a message to my loved ones no matter your stage in life from Busey Wealth Management. For more advice on estate planning and other financial topics, connect with Busey on Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. Busey Wealth Management, there to guide you through the estate planning process. Call them at 800-67-BUSEY to discuss your wishes and to request a message to my loved ones. Investment products and services are not FDIC insured, may lose value, no bank guarantee. Busey, for over 155 years.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report. United Health shares are down nearly 10% after the Wall Street Journal reported the Justice Department is investigating billing for its Medicare Advantage plans. The probe is said to focus on diagnoses that trigger extra payments. Credit rating firm Moody's is cutting Nissan's credit rating to junk after Honda and Nissan scrapped their merger. Nissan is expecting to lose money this year as it restructures to deal with weak sales. The Financial Times says Nissan could be purchased by an investor group that includes Tesla, which would benefit from owning Nissan's plants in Tennessee and Mississippi. Also, Foxconn is said to be interested in a partnership with Honda that would include a relationship with Nissan and Mitsubishi. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network. Listen to the all-new Bret Baier podcast featuring Common Ground, talking to lawmakers weekly from opposite sides of the political spectrum about the issues of the day and how Americans can find common ground in a politicized world.
That's just not happening on Capitol Hill. It takes leadership, right?
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Along with all your Bret Baier favorites like the campaign, the candidates, the all-star panel, and much more. Available now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Tim Onsett, talk to me about dedicated diesel and Dixie Chopper. Anything new here?
Now's a great time to get over to see Andy and get your Dixie Chopper picked out. Make a deal with him. Financing available. There's discounts for first responders, all kinds of things. Andy can run through that and help you out. I know most people aren't thinking about mowing yet, but this is the time that the prices are going to be the lowest.
And Gail Ferrick's Trucking, how's everything?
Oh, we're trucking along. It's busy right now. We have 2 empty seats. I think we filled one up last week. We had a nice young guy come in and get set up, and he's going to be going out here in a week or so, and that'll leave us 2 seats for somebody that wants a guaranteed gross pay for the week and wants to have some home time and be able to enjoy his family also.
Awesome. And how do they contact Tim Onsett?
They can get me at Timo, Timo, at gftlog.com or call the office at 765-793-7131.
This is Eric Boland with Provident Financial Group. Unfortunately, there is no one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is we can help improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Illinois basketball star Merez Johnson on managing partner at Sarah Champagne, Ben Quattrone.
Ben Quattrone is a great guy. He's like an uncle to me now, a great character person. Sarah Champagne is like a family. Talk to the people that work here sometimes, just to talk to them, and they helped me when I got my car deal. It was very helpful. It wasn't like I was here all day, like I was bonding with people, have a conversation with them. They're there. Oh, I love my car.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. That's SERRA champagne.com.
At Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people with amazing service, great design advice, and unbeatable selection and the best prices in town. It's the perfect time to update your home with waterproof flooring, carpet, hardwood, tile, and more. Then complete your rooms by shopping our incredible selection of furniture and accessories. We also offer great financing options. Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. We're flooring people.
Yeah, we have a special Stever in March, and it's going to be Carpet Weavers. And I'm going to be giving some money away that we've never given away before for this. If you have a $5,000 project, which is not very hard to do, say you want to, do a bathroom or a kitchen, something that's going to cost quite a bit. If you spend at least $5,000, I'm going to give $3,000 toward that. So that's like, $6,000 job and half off. That's some significant work too.
That's
so
great.
We're just kind of experimenting with that to see if people have a project like that. So
I mean, you take a second look at getting something done.
If your $5,500 job is now $2,500,
yes,
that's a big help.
I like that, Steve.
So we'll see.
Carpet Weavers,
yep,
thanks for being on board with our Stever program.
Stever program. So we might get into a little more like, what if I gave you $6,000 off your new roof.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah.
So the roof costs $11,500, and
that's something that you bump until you've scurried away some funds.
Some of the bigger projects need to be done, or maybe you need a new furnace. New air conditioner could be $8,000, and I give you $4,000. That'd probably get it done. I mean, if you need it, you need it, right? So anyway, we're working on some other things a little out of the box that could help you get something a little bigger done that's you've been putting off through COVID. You've been thinking about anyway. That'll be in March, and we will let you know. Well, we have minor league, Major League Baseball. Some of the preseason stuff's underway.
We do.
So March 27, Cardinals will open in St. Louis. I think I'll be there.
It's Washington, isn't it? Minnesota.
Minnesota Twins are pretty good.
3:15 on March 27.
But interestingly enough, the Cincinnati Reds are always the first team. So the Cardinals start at 3:15. The Cincinnati Reds start that day in Cincinnati at 3:10.
I see.
So that's
and that's potentially where Jacob could be.
Well,
his son-in-law.
we think he'll start in AAA Louisville, but you never know.
You never know.
Maybe he will.
Spring training's underway now.
Game
and
started.
We've got some text in that we'll get to soon.
Okay. Yep. We'll be right back. ESPN 93.5 News and Weather coming up.
News. I'm Therese Crowley. After pulling an all-nighter, the Senate managed to pass its version of a Trump budget blueprint, focusing on border security, energy, and the military. Different from the one big beautiful bill in the House the president prefers. The House tackles its version next week. Elon Musk on stage with a chainsaw, a surprise gift from Argentina's president at the conservative CPAC convention, talking about what Doge cost cutters are finding.
We just did a check the database on Social Security. Like it says, how many alive Americans eligible for Social Security are there? And according to the database, it's over 400 million. And we're like, wait a second.
Israel's prime minister says Hamas will pay for this. The kidnapped hostage they returned in a coffin was not Cherie Bibas, the mother of 2 dead toddlers handed over. IDF forensics now show Hamas murdered the babies with their bare hands. America's listening to Fox News.
You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck duck goose because you do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow will help make it easy and affordable to help you protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow in Champaign-Urbana today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here's a look at local news. Man accused of fleeing the scene of a deadly accident in Urbana remains in custody after being denied pretrial release. Julio Bold, a Mexican citizen facing charges. 2 people died when Bold, who was allegedly drunk, slammed into the back of another car January 19th at University and Kohler Avenue. Urbana's police chief says his department taking data-driven approach to policing. It means collecting crime stats from around the Urbana area and reallocating resources accordingly. The higher the crime in a particular area, the more police presence. The chief adds that the department working more closely with community leaders and organizations to keep the city safer. Governor Pritzker is supporting a ban on cell phones in the classroom in the state. Illinois now joining several other states that have already implemented a no screen policy in schools. That policy has gone into effect in some central Illinois schools. Officials at those schools are already reporting increased student engagement. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Jim, let's check your weather. And finally, we're happy about temperatures as we move through today, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for Eastern Toronto, Champaign, and vicinity. Quiet spell is getting underway weather-wise and should take us into the early part of next week with a big pattern shift as well, back to and then well above seasonal expectations, from thaw-free cycles to a downright thaw that takes us into a good part of next week. Next weather system appearing to be a rain one that's ahead the middle part of next week as well. In the meantime, a very cold start, but a better afternoon. Sunshine, light wind, and 29 will level off to around 11 above 4 tonight with a fair sky. Tomorrow, partly sunny, more seasonal temperatures in the afternoon. Southwest wind and high about 34. Into the 20s tomorrow night. Partly sunny, breezy, milder still for the day. Sunday at 43, 53 Monday, 54 on Tuesday. A healthy west-southwesterly wind. A little bit of rain will come through the area Wednesday next week with a high up to about 52. Then we'll cool with daytime readings into the 40s for next Thursday and Friday. Overnight readings into the upper 20s to middle 30s. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Thank you, Greg. Greg. Appreciate you very much. He's very accurate. So listen to Greg Solier every day here on our stations. ESPN 95, Diane Ducey's right there.
I am, and I usually monitor the text line from Fisher National Bank. 359-2255.
Yep, and we are here another 20 minutes or so you're welcome to chime in. We always love hearing from you.
And yesterday at the Tolono Fun Day meeting, as we organized the last weekend in June, some people were asking how to consume us if they're not, listening on 93.5. And I suggested, are you on X? Yes. Then go to Stevie Jay FM.
We're there every day.
So there you go.
Yeah.
They said they never see me if they hit that.
Because
you never change the...
I can leave it on you if you'd like.
There you go.
Now you will be on for the rest of the show.
Okay. I don't necessarily need that.
I go back and forth. I'm the controller. We need another person to do the TV, but I don't.
Speaking of the look, I'm supposed to get a headshot today, and you said I could probably just do that on my cell phone and save myself some money, but I need some professional stuff because people are asking for the headshot, and I haven't had one since 1990. Did I show you the big hair headshot?
I think you look beautiful.
I'm looking good back in the day, baby.
You look good today.
But I brought probably 10 different outfits because it's a headshot. It's only going to be the collar, but I want to make sure the collar is just right.
It is amazing the difference between men and women on that. I'm like, first of all, I got absolutely zero interest in a picture.
I wanted you and I to do a promotional picture and put it on the website, steviejay.com. But
okay, well. How do I look?
We did do that with Larry Camper, when we first started out in 2010 or something. And
we did shots.
There was a microphone.
I don't think you and I did a shot.
I think we did because we did this
somebody did a picture, but the one that we put on the website together, I don't think was Larry. Larry's shots are professionally
right,
done,
for sure, but we were acting kind of silly and we just didn't have a good pose. It was all awkward looking or whatever, because you and I are more brotherly, sisterly, and just whatever. When it's interesting, radio people, when you actually take a picture of us. I always am fascinated with people who have a good one.
Larry says pictures very, very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
you for that.
Yeah, I just don't. But you're right. I mean, you should have some photos done of people that are known to the public. But I don't know. I'm just kind of.
I write every week for the Southern Champaign County Today, and my editor said everybody else has a picture but you, Diane.
You need a picture.
There you go.
All right.
So back to the text line. Chapin is a gem. Thank you for that. Another person is asking about a coworker of mine married to a woman from Russia. Is there any way you can help speed up the process for her to get a visa in the country as a leader?
I can't believe the process that people go through legally.
Yes,
is impossible. It just doesn't happen. It takes 900 years. I think you got to contact Senator Chapin Rose. I think senchapinrose.com, wasn't it?
I think something like that.
So you find Chapin online and his staff, and he's always willing to look into stuff, and he works very hard behind the scenes for his constituents. So yeah, I'd contact his office for that one.
And then there's Shauna Green, could have made 1,000 excuses when she lost Cook and Dolan for the year, but she didn't. So in terms of pure coaching, Shauna has the edge. I'm not sure it's actually that close.
Listen, you can get down on Brad Underwood, but he's been the best coach for 6 years in the Big Ten. Okay, he's won 3 championships. He's doing fine. He had not only the injuries, but he's had a plague. I think you can call it a plague that has hit this team for the last 4 weeks. Now, keep in mind, you have a fever, did a break. Remember how you feel. I hope you haven't felt it in a long time, but I have. And I had the flu in early January, and you just don't feel like getting out of bed. So how am I possibly going to shoot a 3? So that lingers for weeks. And so when you miss practice, you miss everything. Here's our scheme. Here's the scouting report. Here's what this team does. You can barely open your eyes when you're sick. These guys are young and all that stuff, but I'm telling you, it can linger. Mononucleosis is a real thing. I thought that Thomas Isevich tried to play to Wisconsin, got himself to Wisconsin on his own, hadn't practiced forever, and then took IVs to get on the court. So I think Shauna's had her share of trouble, but I don't think any plagues run through the team in sickness. The basketball team at Illinois has been decimated. So you can judge them based on whatever you want to do, but there are people that come out and don't like to coach every year at some point because he's so bad. And then he wins a title and you're so fired up because we're going to win the national, all that. And then you lose a game, he's so bad. Sean is way better. Sean is great. But Brad's pretty good now. How do you win the most 10? He's 2 wins behind Brad Painter for being the winningest Big Ten coach for 6 years. He was the winningest Big Ten coach for 5 years. Matt Painter has just passed him, edged him this year. But there's a rumor I saw on X, so it must be true, that Brad Painter might be a guy that might be interested in the Indiana job. Wouldn't that be interesting? I think that's a rumor. I can't imagine Matt Painter, who played at Purdue, would ever leave that job. But all these swirl around.
Sure.
I wouldn't put any stock
boy,
in
are
that.
the Hoosiers not happy.
I think you go get Dusty May from Michigan because he was a student manager at Indiana.
Ooh.
And Dusty May's headed straight for a Big Ten Coach of the Year, maybe National Coach of the Year, what he's done at Michigan.
Okay.
So they're very, very good, and he's a really good coach. And yeah, maybe that. Anyway, so back to Brad. He's a terrific coach. He's done a great job here. We've not been relevant since Bruce Weber. Sorry.
Yeah.
We had a very relevant team in the 2000s, but yeah. So I would say if you've won 2 Big Ten titles and a Big Ten outright, shared a Big Ten title over the season, conference title, you've done quite well. His record shows up for itself, and it's hard to judge a guy on the fact that you've not had your full team since Oregon.
Right. Now, I got a text about the IHSA Wrestling Championship going on now at the State Farm Center. Over 650 wrestlers, 250 high schools, 14 weight classes across 3 divisions. Attendance of nearly 36,000 people. So be hospitable here in the area.
Mm-hmm.
The economic impact, according to Experience Champaign-Urbana, about $5.5 million.
Wow, well, good. I've never. I know they have all kinds of.
I know. It's all the hospitality,
know?
the hotels, the restaurants,
They have the measurements.
They
I
do.
just don't know what they are.
And I saw, Unity and Oakwood Salt Fork and Muhammad Seymour, Champaign Central, and Gibson City, Melvin Sibley Fisher all have wrestlers that have advanced into
Good.
today's competition.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Why, let's do a quick sports headlines while we're here.
I can take care of
ESPN 93.5.
Number 3, UCLA over number 25, Illinois women's basketball, 70-55 yesterday. Next up will be USC as they stay on the West Coast, Sunday at 4. Adalia McKenzie with 18 points in that game. And thanks for the comments, by the way, at 217-359-2255 on how Shauna Green has been a terrific coach.
She's done what nobody has done here
Right.
since the program started in 1974. She's won the most games, and that's why I call her the biggest flight risk we have on campus is Shauna Green, because I believe if UConn opens, she's going to get a call from the big dogs because she's done so well here.
And that's why when we were in the room and spotlighting her for the Women of Distinction that the Girl Scouts put on a few months ago, you locked her in for, what, a 50-year deal?
I said I would extend you till 2052.
That was
Josh Whitman extended her to 2030.
And then I said that on the mic, and Josh and his wife Hope kind of grinned and chuckled at that.
Yeah, tell Stevie J to just pipe it down. But it doesn't mean she stays.
Right.
You always can leave.
That's true.
Anyway. All right.
Big Ten basketball last night. Maryland beat USC 88-71. Northwestern took down Ohio State. Okay.
I just think that nobody. And A, I don't care.
Okay.
B, I'm bitter because Illinois hasn't, been a team that can hold together.
Sick.
It just, Anyway, good for Northwest. Way to go.
Sentinel.
But I am surprised they beat Ohio State.
Madison Square Garden tomorrow, 7 o'clock Central Time is the tip.
FS1.
As we take on number 3 Duke. So make sure you're getting that game in. Texas State for our Illinois baseball team. They bumped the games a little later. It's not starting today on that series. So tomorrow at 2:30, doubleheader starting Sunday at noon in case you want to keep track of that. Knicks over the Bulls 113-111. Indiana's Pacers over Memphis 127-113. I got a note from Claire at visitindy.com on the NFL Combine that's coming up. Is that next weekend then, I believe, as we start to get close to March?
That's where Tip Ryman made $30 million.
Yes.
He was our tight end that went to the Combine, and people were absolutely stunned
and it is
by his talent.
fascinating, and it is free. And visit Indy.com if you need more details.
Got to be kind of a nerd to go.
It would be cool though, and they're hoping to get 30,000 fans.
I can go to where's the Armory? I can go to the Armory and see that. U of I track guys will look just like that when they sprint.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm seeing.
But if you're in the weeds on football, I'd make the trip. Unless it would be fascinating.
Unless somebody hires me to be their top scout, I'm just not going to go. I just don't think I'm going to go.
Something that you did catch that you normally don't catch. Canada beat USA on ice 3-2 in overtime.
And yesterday. I think I saw that puck at least 50% of the time. So I feel pretty good about it. I didn't know it rolled like that.
We need a little glow-in-the-dark blinky on the puck, please.
Those guys are all NHL guys. They were serious, and they were playing hockey, no fights that I saw. And when they have that stick, it's kind of like a golfer with a club.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Mm-hmm.
The speed, the way they get checked into the boards, man. I don't know, man. It's a fast game, and it's physical. And if I could see the puck a little better, when it gets down by the net, it's a melee, and it bounces off somebody's knee, it bounces off somebody's shoulder. That's how they get goals.
The hockey guys have good 20/20 sight or something.
Well, the keepers they catch the puck.
Yeah.
How do they see the
puck? And with
puck?
all that stuff on.
Well, they just amazing athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, I was bummed that Canada beat America 3-2 in overtime.
That's right.
Okay, we got a weather and wrapping this up here in the next few moments. Again, always text us 217-359-2255.
Our friendly sales team help you to find just the right appliance, just the right price.
I'm Paul Reekin, and you know my dad, Dennis, for the famous
Wow.
Yeah, that's the one. That
Wow
is a Central Illinois tradition, decades in the making. It's our award-winning staff that puts the
Wow
in Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We have in-house service, in-house appliance installation, a knowledgeable sales staff that will make sure you get the guaranteed best deal on your next appliance purchase. Oh, and let's not forget, a jingle that's been around for decades. Just like the quality service we provide, I'll make sure it's here for decades to come. We're the store that makes you say,
Wow.
We stand behind what we sell, we offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Yeah, this kid that allegedly cold-blooded killed that CEO, the health guy in Chicago, Luigi Mangione. And tell you how some of us are so messed up. They're actually fans of his.
I know.
Because he's so cute.
And people, wanting to marry him and all
It's
that.
It's just beyond, again, there's a lot of people live in America, and there's a lot of people that have mental health issues that live in America.
I'm overwhelmed and grateful to everyone who has written me to share their stories and express their support, says his statement today.
Yeah, well, he's
this cold-blooded killer
Yeah.
that we have videotape of him shooting this healthcare dude
I
in
think
the
he
back.
pleaded innocent, so maybe he claims it wasn't him, and they'll have to introduce DNA and all that other stuff, too. I don't know. And he was found in what, a McDonald's?
Right.
Something like that?
In Pennsylvania or something?
I don't know. Anyway, you're shaking your head going, what the heck?
Yeah. Some events
Those are a very rich family.
I know.
I mean, very wealthy people.
Affluent. Mhm.
Yeah, just messed up. Messed up. I wanted to play a little Brad.
Okay.
This is Brad.
Very, very excited about the opportunity to play Duke. Very excited to be in the Garden. It's the hallowed place. It's anytime I get a chance to take a team to play Madison Square Garden, I'm going to do that. There's a special vibe about the place and the building and the excitement. And if you're a basketball player, you're a basketball coach, playing there is is very, very special. So, Duke team that's having a great year. John's done a really, really good job.
Well, they're good. They're really, really
He's
good.
actually 3-1 record at Madison Square Garden with wins over top
Brad?
25 opponents.
Yeah, I think we played pretty well
Number
there.
13 Maryland we beat, number 2 Texas, and number 11 FAU.
If the thing is a really good game with less than 10 minutes to play, that you'd be thrilled. Because this is a very good team, and we're not quite back. So we will see. You never know. We make a lot of shots. Things can happen.
That's
but
right.
We will see. We've got guys, I think, that can be at that level. It's just everybody together and feeling right and practiced up and all that stuff. All right, you had some events?
Yeah, it's going to be the Daddy-Daughter Dance, High School St. Thomas More, starting at 6:30. Also a 6:30 start at our own Unity High School. It was fun to be on stage, but it's Kevin Polonis introducing the all-out a cappella acts tonight. UnityMusicBoosters.org if you need more tickets or information on that. And the Firemen's Benevolent Fund supported tonight at City Center, and that's going till 11. So I plan to pop by there in the last couple of hours and see those blazing pianos tonight.
All right, let's get one more look at a nice forecast. It's been a week since we could say, oh boy, about the weather, but we can say, oh boy, about the weather. Meteorologist Greg Solier.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign and vicinity. That much needed and welcome and advertised shifted weather to a milder go that gets underway for the day today. More so felt over the back end of the weekend and a good part of next week. Not long lasting, so enjoy it while you may. We'll top out this afternoon up at around 29. A very cold start, not so cold afternoon. Sunshine, light west southwesterly winds will certainly help. Fair cold tonight down around 11. Tomorrow more seasonal in the afternoon, partly sunny and 34 and an increasing southwest wind. We'll level off into the 20s tomorrow night. Sunday partly sunny, breezy, milder up to 43, 53 and a breezy, milder still Monday, 54 on Tuesday. Weather system will bring some rain across the area for late Tuesday night into Wednesday. Gone for next Thursday and Friday. Daytime readings still north of 50 on Wednesday. Will cool to the lower 40s for highs next Thursday and Friday. Overnight readings as well will fall back to near freezing. We'll keep you posted right here for Stevie J Broadcasting. I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Sarah Champagne Managing Partner Ben Quattrone.
We're always looking for people. You can go online and apply on our website. We never know what we're going to need. We're always expanding. We're always building more and growing our business. If we don't need a person and they come along and we find out that they're an eagle, they're a star, we'll hire them. We'll put them somewhere and wait for the spot we're going to have them working.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com.
Football season is over, but there's still plenty to bet at Circus Sports Illinois. From college basketball, hockey, and everything in between, Circus Sports has it all. Circus Sports Illinois isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, tight money line splits, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for futures on March hoops, props on your favorite players, and more, Circus Sports has you covered. Download the Circus Sports Illinois app or visit circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Earlier, we started our show with Sam from the iHotel and his son, Captain Nathan Santanum. Sam is all I need to say. You know him at the iHotel. Anyway, they were at West Point, and Janet and I, along with Jacob and Grace, we went to West Point with little Lovey and Mosey. They went too, our little doggies. Anyway, it was fabulous, and just to see the beautiful campus, and Nathan is going to be in the Captain Nathan is going to be in the reserve now, but he's head of athletic admissions at Army. And, you know, if you go to Army, you have to be in something. And there's 65 choices, including CrossFit.
Wow.
But you have got to be involved in something, one of their 65 offerings. You can't sit around.
Right. Captain Nathan talked about his experience in wrestling back in the High School of St. Thomas More days.
Made it to state, and then he wrestled for Army for a bit. And I don't know if he wrestled all four. But anyway, you're there on campus, and everybody you see is physically fit. Every student you see. And it's just like you're looking around going, these are impressive people. Yeah. And you know, you get a demerit if you're late for class. And a demerit, I think, equals an hour of marching.
Oh, man.
So you don't want to be late.
If we can only have, you know, our general population have a little smidge of that kind of discipline.
I mean, it's not for everybody. because I would get a demerit twice a week for being 3 minutes late for class.
I feel like in Europe, when I was an exchange student there, right after high school, they want a lot of people to go through a military experience.
Well, there's some countries require it. They still do.
Yeah.
Here, it's all volunteer at this point. We had a draft, back in the late 60s, 70s. We had a draft, and that ended. Anyway, very impressive campus, and we enjoyed talking to Sam.
Yes. And you can always hear the show at StevieJay.com. In the toolbar, you drop down on the podcast, listen to our show if you want to hear that interview back.
I don't know what I'm wearing Monday. 54? Yeah. Shorts? Oh, Chapin already has those on. Thanks to Chapin Roast for jumping on as well.
That's
he wears shorts till it's 12.
That's right.
So we got him out of shorts. Out of pants. He can wear shorts now. Okay, we shall return, God willing, Monday. Thank you, Diane.
Enjoy the weekend. Go Illini, beat Duke.
Ooh, let's go beat Duke.
Yes.
Come on. And Shauna Green, go beat USC. They're also a really good team.
That's right.
So are we. All right. Thank you, Diane Ducey. I am Stevie J. Thank you for listening. We shall regather on Monday to talk about whatever's going on, and it'll be nice weather and bright light. It'll be really fun. All right. Thank you. I'm Stevie J. Have a blessed weekend.
What is most important in your life? This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Whether you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that can help clients like you realize your goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. It's time to come home to Carpet Weavers. We don't want you to just like your new floors. We want you to love them. From waterproof floors and carpet to furnitures and design advice, we've got a team of experts on your side. We'll get you the best price and the best quality products. And complete your home with furniture and accessories. Buy it all with free financing too. Come home to Carpet Weavers, where floors, furniture, and family meet.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands from Lands Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Underground Solutions. Are you tired of dealing with leaky faucets, basement flooding, bursting or leaking pipes? From plumbing maintenance and repairs to installing new water heaters and sump pumps, our goal is to get you up and running as soon as possible. At Lands Plumbing, we have 24/7 emergency service and a team of highly skilled professionals that will work with you to get the job done right the first time. I'm Troy Lands. You can count on my company because you can count on me.
Hi, this is Pam Moore with Philo Exchange Bank. Whether you want to do your banking online or you prefer face-to-face interaction with our friendly staff, Philo Exchange Bank delivers banking that helps you reach your personal or business goals. To us, you're not just another face, you're a part of our family. Visit us at any one of our locations in Philo, St. Joseph, Allerton, or Broadlands, and we'll be here to help.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC.
So Tim, he's in charge of Dedicated Diesel and Gale Frericks Trucking. Let's begin with Gale Frericks Trucking. How we doing?
Oh, we're doing real good. We got a bunch of great guys. We work together, and it's how things are done around here. If we need to fix something, we face it head on, we get it fixed. And that's the kind of guys we're looking for, that really want to service the customer and want to do things right and want to be successful. They want to make good money. They want to be home with their families on the weekends, and that's the kind of guys that we need here.
As far as training and GFT, they kind of go hand in hand, and you got everyone very experienced on your crew.
Oh yeah, it's a great team, and even the ones that don't have much experience, we're teaching them the right ways to do things, and that goes a long way. We don't just tell them what to do. I'm a teacher at heart, so I'm teaching them why we're doing it. That really hits home with them. They appreciate that. It just makes things run so much smoother.
How can people reach Tim Onstock?
They can get me at TIMO@GFTLOG.com or Dedicated Equipment on Facebook.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Pia's 1609 West Springfield Avenue in Champaign. Enjoy drink specials from Coors and Miller Lite, Twisted Tea, Captain Morgan, and Bullet Rye Bourbon. As we say, go Illini. Great drink specials, terrific pub food like the Slugger Burger, chicken fingers, loaded nachos, and fish on Fridays. Pia's will have a fan bus to watch the Illini. It leaves a half hour before tip-off. As you head to the State Farm Center, get dropped off and picked up in the Front Circle Drive off 1st Street. Pia's 1609 West Springfield Avenue in Champaign.
From computer systems to brakes and tires too, at PDR, fixing cars is what they do. Remember, when you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481 or use their dedicated text-only line at 383-0619. Additional information including repair quotes and online scheduling requests available from the website at pdrauto.com. Remember, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
From Chase. Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.